A Russian cruise missile campaign aimed at Syrian opposition groups being carried out from the Caspian Sea, already causing problems in the region. U.S. officials confirming this morning that 4 faulty Russian cruise missiles did not quite make it to their targets and fell instead inside of Iran. Let's bring in former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and American Enterprise Institute senior fellow, John Bolton. Ambassador, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
In your latest column, you make the point that Putin is issuing a direct challenge to President Obama for dominance in the Middle East. Explain that. Got to get your take on this Iran element as well.
Well, I think it's very clear that Putin sees pronounced American weakness, lack of attention, lack of interest, and he's exploiting it. This move in Syria is not the first. He visited with President al-Sisi in Egypt back in February, resulting in a large sale of high-end Russian conventional weapons, the first major Russian arms sale to Egypt since the 1970s. When Assad expelled the Russian advisors were expelled, and I think the Vienna deal on Iran's nuclear weapons program was part of it as well. I think this is an effort to extend Russia's influence, political and military, and propping up Assad is a part of it, an important part, but only a part of it.
Well, you could extend he could extend Russia's influence, but also create real uncertainty in the global energy market to push oil prices higher. That would help his economy, right?
Yeah, I think they'd say that would be a real shame back in the Kremlin, but that clearly is in his mind, because the dramatic collapse in oil prices has had a substantial economic impact on Russia, and that's one reason why he's actually playing 2 hands of cards at the same time, not only in the Middle East, but when he was at the United Nations a few days ago, he made it clear to the Europeans that if they would come along with him in backing the Assad regime, that could help alleviate the refugee problem that's now overwhelming many European countries, and by the way, maybe help lift the sanctions on Russia imposed because of the Ukraine.
Well, Ambassador, it's Dagen. Good to see you as always. What the heck are we doing about it?
We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. Look, the idea that we would accept a Russian air base near the northern border of Israel violates close to 70 years of bipartisan American policy to minimize Russia's presence in the region. And I have to say, even the notion that we should talk to the Russians about deconflicting in the air over Syria is a mistake, because to do that would legitimize that Russian air presence there and allow them to expand it. This is a catastrophic series of events for American influence in the region, and not only do our adversaries see it, our friends see it as well.
So what are the implications of that then, Ambassador? I mean, how does this play out, knowing that this is so catastrophic and clearly the leadership in America once again continues to be questioned?
Yeah. Well, first, I think we're looking at a redefinition of the boundaries of the Middle East. I think as Iraq has ceased to exist as a state, I think Syria is on the verge of that. And what's happening is that Saudi Arabia, the other oil-producing monarchies, are beginning to hedge their bets. They don't see the United States as protecting what they had thought were common interest, and that's visible in the Iran nuclear agreement. So they're talking to Russia, they're talking to China. Even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went to Moscow a couple weeks ago to talk about this Russian development. Wow. So there's a sliding effect here. As our influence diminishes, our friends look elsewhere to hedge their bets, and our influence diminishes further.
Wow, this is so extraordinary, Ambassador. We could talk about it all day. Thank you so much for weighing in this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maria.
We'll see you soon. Ambassador John Bolton there.